Netflix, have a secret regarding Harry and Meghan. And this particular secret, well, they don't want you to know. But as ever here on the show, well, again, let me just explain. Morning, nice to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today. Lovely to have your company. And thank you for your lovely support, by the way, with the recent video about the abandoned building. Fascinating stuff. I'm glad you will agree. Let's have a lovely wave and welcome all brand new subscribers. It is those buildings though, isn't it, that you go past. And many of you commented on the fact that I mentioned brass bands, Now, coming from the north, of course, brass bands were a very big thing. And, I remember when brass bands could even get into the charts. When I was at school, the Brighouse and Rastrick brass band got into the charts with the floral dance, and then another version with Terry Wogan, who was a very much celebrated BBC Radio 2 DJ and presenter on television as well. So, when you think it's in your blood, isn't it? But think about that. They were free a lot of the time. So you go into a park, you listen to these wonderful musicians, beautifully attired, no trouble, no fuss. What a world that we've now come to when you don't even sit in your local park for fear of course, having your phone or your bag snatched or indeed your life threatened. Literally, that's how far we've come. It is pretty frightening. It's a little bit like this particular secret. Nice segue here, you see, chumps. A little bit of a secret here, because when you think about it, we've often said here on the show that Harry and Meghan are absolutely clotheads at making deals. I mean, when you've been offered a lot of money, something like Spotify, and you've been offered millions, and you've very really not been asked to do that much work. I mean, not really, And anybody who makes any content knows there's an element of work in it, but if you enjoy it, you're passionate about it, and you like the subject, then yes, it's very easy, it's enjoyable, and you want to make it. Clearly, Meghan just doesn't want to do anything. She is the Duchess of bone idleness, in my opinion. Every single thing seems a massive stretch, whether she has to find a new nanny or staff or whatever. What do they do all day? On that docuseries with Netflix, we saw them behind these two computers doing what? Playing bingo? I mean, what did they do all day? I think that's what fascinates a lot of people. Clearly, Meghan just watches other people's cooking shows and thinks, I could do that by wearing a different frock, that type of thing. Now, as you know, Netflix have decided to, well, not splash out the cash this time around. It's very much an undervalued deal, right? And the idea of this is that, well, you're going to watch this regardless because they've now got it. And I told you they're intercutting it with all sorts of stuff, zinging up the music, trying to get Meghan to appear more relatable. Now, one of the things that a lot of people have been pointing out is, well, Netflix, why would they bother doing it? What's the deal? Well, they've already paid for this show. So they're not going to promote it. There's going to be no money spent on this, at all. But you see, a lot of people are saying, well, they got their money from the Harry and Netflix deal, the drama, the docuseries. Now, here's what you don't know about this, because again, you have to say that Netflix are not very bright. No, they're just not. You see, when they signed that deal, and this was at the very beating heart of Harry and Meghan being popular, they were coming to America, they were going to take on Hollywood with Archwell, make content that you and I loved, like Pearl, right, and The Business Show and all of that, and suddenly it all very fell flat. But lost in the intricacies of that contract are the fact that, and this is important really, because whoever put that contract together for Harry and Meghan absolutely knew what they were doing. You see, Netflix, on a second run of, say, the docuseries, a 6-part thing, Harry and Meghan, whatever it was called, the only one that's had any success and the only one that's a relatable sort of viewership, well, they can't screen it, again, on two things: the permission of Harry and Meghan and an agreed fee to re-show it. Oh yeah, I mean, think about that, right? This is your only option to get any money out of these two scallywags. And the thing is, they've already nailed that down. Now, the idea that Netflix have thought about this, and this is very clear to me, and I'm sure it will be to you, is the fact that, well, we've got all the clips, everybody's seen it. You can't get the full thing online, but, everybody knows the stories. It's a tissue of lies. Meghan apparently saying somebody thanked her for service on an airline and broke down. You think, what service, I mean, it's ridiculous. So I think, in a sense, that Netflix have won this round. And I believe that Harry and Meghan felt that they were going to consequently get some money because of the reruns and residuals and stuff like that. Well, they didn't. Netflix literally won on that order. So now, if you break it down even further, this deal is far worse than even, well, anybody could have absolutely 100% thought. So Harry and Meghan are now stumped with this half-cut second-based series with, some people say some rather suggestive, ill-placed guests. And of course, Daniel, the makeup artist, who never made the cut to the wedding. That's a big thank you, isn't it? And then, of course, on top of that, they're not going to put out the Only Money Spinner 2. So once again, Harry and Meghan on both sides. I would say 1 to Netflix, 0, of course, to Harry and Meghan. Who does your business deals, chums? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.